Hello, this is OverlordBou. I just want to wish you all a happy new year, everyone. And we're starting off this new year with a brand new tech tree line, the Dutch light cruiser line. And today we'll be looking at the tier 10 of this line, the Utrecht. Now this Utrecht is really a thing of beauty. This thing is going to have insane airstrikes that have a 30.6 second reload, that have a 14-kilometer range. This thing is built to farm, and I'm going to be describing how and why that is in today's video. So a little bit more detail about these Dutch airstrike bombers. You get 35 5800 bombs per airstrike that have 34 millimeters of HE pen. Now, these things are not easy to land. They have a smaller drop zone than the Trump, so it's a very tight square. So if you hit anything in that square, it's going to do a lot of damage. But if you hit anything around that, then yeah, you're not going to. The reload can go down for the designated air it's about like a 12 second airstrike drop, about the same as a Golden Lou in a reference. If you ever play the Golden Lou, this would be very similar to that. And if you know how to aim the bombs on the Trump, then you're definitely going to do a really good job landing the bombs with these things. You do get 2 charges for this ship, and whenever the legendary or the unique commander comes out, you're going to be able to get 3 drops for this thing, which will be absolutely insane. But yeah, these airstrikes are incredibly deadly when positioned correctly. They are definitely hard hitting as long as you are accurate with them. And they don't have as high of a pin as the Golden Lou, so the Golden Lou is going to be able to pin more targets in this thing. But what makes this thing so fantastic is the fact that it has a 14-kilometer range, and it has a 30.6 second reload. I don't understand. I don't know if some of you guys understand how fast that is. That is an insanely fast reload for airstrikes. By the time they DCP, you're gonna have another bomb to hit them with. So if you have any kind of island campers or anyone that's just sitting bow in, this thing is gonna absolutely melt them, as you'll be seeing today's video. As you'll be watching the Stalingrad, he's going to be having a wonderful time as the rest of his team also tries to push me, and you're going to have a fun time with that. Now, what else makes this ship great? This ship also has 6 twin 128 millimeter guns, with 12 in total. They do have a standard cruiser dispersion, so about average. You do have a nice reload of about 4.5 seconds, which you can build into, and it has a 17-kilometer range. The turret traverse is also pretty quick. What's great about this ship is that there's 3 turrets on the front and 3 turrets on the rear, right? So 2 of the turrets in the front are 360, while 1 turret in the back is 360, which means that no matter what, you'll always have at least 3 turrets on target at all times. So when you're kiting or pushing bow in, whatever angle you're going to be, you're going to have at least 3 turrets being able to fire at all times. So half of your DPM is always going to be firing at a target, which is really, really nice. I do love when World of Warships design ships that have 360 turrets, and make sure where you're able to use your DPM consistently and not having to wait a super long time to kind of just wait for the turrets to turn, or all of them to turn from one side to the other. It is really nice when they do that. So the ballistics of these guns are actually really good. They're better than the Des Moines and Goliaths, for example, if you want to do a comparison. In other words, though, like the HE, it's okay. They're low damage due to the fact that the guns are 128 millimeters. You do get 32 millimeter pen, which is really nice to farming battleships, cruisers, destroyers. It doesn't matter. It's gonna pen them, which is really, really nice. So really, really happy. Normally, that's like the weird thing about this ship is a lot of the time on the light cruisers, you have to take ifhe to be able to pen 32 millimeter, but this ship just has 32 millimeter built in, so you don't have to build ifhe. You could build into heavy HE instead, which is on my recommended build, which I'll be showing at the end of today's video. So we talked about the HE and how great the HE is. It's low damage, not the best, but you do get a high pen with it, which is really, really nice. Now, the AP, yeah, no, you just want to forget it. I'm sorry. You just want to forget the AP exists on this ship. If you're under 8 kilometers, yes, use AP on a broadside target. But if you're outside of 8 kilometers, don't even look at anything with AP. The AP, since it's 120 millimeter guns, it is not good. So do not build, do not build into and do not use the AP that much in this ship. Just focus on using HE. And if you do use AP, shoot on broadside ships. Now, if you are going to use it outside of 8 kilometers, good luck. I would definitely say if you are going to use it on very, very, very lightly armored targets like a Smolensk, like that thin of armor. You could definitely Citadel with AP with that. But anything else, you're probably not. So maybe a minnow, maybe, but good luck with that. For the secondaries, there is no secondaries. So thank God no one can build into secondaries since there is none. So hallelujah. For anti-air, this thing actually has massive anti-air, by the way. Massive. It has massive mid-range anti-air due to the Dutch ship's signature move of taking the Bofors Supremacy anti-air build, and they have invested everything into the mid-range anti-air. So it's not great for defending other ships, but if any aircraft carrier tries to attack you, say goodbye to their squad. They may get a strike off, but they're gonna lose all of their planes. So this is gonna be the new anti-air kiting farming cruiser. It has great anti-air, great guns, great airstrikes. What else is great about this ship? We talked about how great the anti-air is. We talked about how great the guns are. We talked about the great airstrikes. What else is great about this ship? Well, concealment. This thing has really good concealment. You get a best surface detection of 9.8 kilometers, which is amazingly good concealment. And you can also build for this ship heavy HE almost for free. No, it is for free because the fact the guns are 120 millimeters, so you can take that without getting the extra concealment nerf. So you get 9.8 kilometer best surface detection concealment, and then you can take the heavy HE for that extra damage, and then you get the best surface detection, which is 6 kilometers. This concealment is amazing for both the fact that if in any pushing into you, you can just kite away and spam those airstrikes every 30 seconds again and again and again and again, and you can just perma-fire those poor battleships that are pushing into you. And pray to God, if it's a French or a British battleship, oh man, those bombs with a 34 millimeter of pen are just gonna go right through their decks, and you're gonna see massive damage. Like, you could do like 20,000 damage with these bombs. It can do a lot of damage. So if you're positioning right with this cruiser and you're pushing into them, like using your concealment, and they're able to kind of push into them and stay behind them as they're running away from you, or if they're pushing into you and you're kiting away and you just keep bombing them over and over and over again, you're gonna be unstoppable. Unstoppable. It is gonna be so much fun for you to mess with battleships and cruisers alike. And if you are accurate enough to hit destroyers with this thing, you're practically a god at that point, and they're gonna call you a hacker. So we talked about what's great about this ship. Let's talk about what isn't as great. So top speed. So the top speed on this ship, it isn't the fastest, but it does have an engine boost which is nice. And I'll explain the engine boost in a little bit. So this ship's maneuverability. It has 35 knot top speed. With the flag, it goes like the 37-ish, 38-ish. You do have a very, very tight turning radius of 700 meters. That is insanely tight, and it makes it really easy for you to dodge using your rudder and not the throttle juking, which is really nice to do. You do have a 9.5 second rudder shift, which is still nice. The maneuverability is quite good. I'm not the happiest with the top speed, but you can't get everything with the ship, so 35 is still nice. And you're gonna need all of that speed, especially trying to dodge and turn if you are shooting on the map, because any ship that spots you is gonna want you dead immediately because of all of those airstrikes. So the moment you're spotted, you need to run, dodge, do whatever you can, or they're going to be after you the whole time. Okay, so what else is there? The hull. So this is an enlarged D7P hull. It has 37,700 HP, which is better than other DD gun light cruisers, but not by much better. You have a 16 millimeter bow/stern. With the side armor and deck. Yeah, you have literally no armor, but that is a light cruiser for you. You do have a standard DCP with a fast repair party. The fast repair party is really nice, so you're able to heal up pretty quickly. So if you do take damage, you can get that heal back going faster and faster pretty much. You do have a 19% torpedo reduction, and the Citadel slightly above water. So yeah, don't show your broadside and you'll be fine. And if any of you guys have any experience playing the mid-tier Dutch cruisers or any other light cruiser, and you already know how squishy they are, yeah, that's pretty much how this is. So don't show your broadside to the enemy and you'll do perfectly fine. And if you do show the broadside to the enemy, be prepared to die. Also, if you fight any battleships with SAP or short fuse AP like the St. Vincent, yeah, you're just dead. You're just dead. You need to run and not even try to get spotted near those ships. The SAP will Citadel you, and the short fuse AP will also Citadel you. It don't matter how thin you are, that AP will find you, and it will depth strike you. So, yeah. But that's just how those ships are. All right, so we talked about pretty much everything about the ship. The last thing we need to cover, there's two things. The consumables. So the consumables, you get a standard DCP, a standard speed boost, and which is about 8%, and you get a fast repair party. This fast repair party is really nice. And make sure you get your heal back quicker. Then you get a faster cooldown pretty much than compared to other cruisers. So really nice in that regard. Yeah, the final thing about this ship is it's surface-based ASW. Since the ship does have airstrikes, you do not get aerial depth charges. You only get the surface, and they do 5,000 damage per depth charge, which is a lot of damage. But you get 6 depth charges per attack, and you get 2 charges for those. So yeah, good luck finding a sub. Good luck is the best way I can say. You're not the fastest cruiser, so you're not going to be able to hunt down subs, and a sub is going to be able to hunt you. So just be careful if there's a submarine in your match. If not, then you're dead. So moving on. All right, so what's a little bit of an overview of this ship? So the Utrecht, it essentially plays like a light cruiser version of unique upgraded Golden Loop. You are training durability for increased firepower and more airstrikes. In a sense, this is a better continuation of the Dutch cruiser line, as her playstyle is similar to the Tier 7 Endrik. And the Utrecht can spam airstrikes more often, preying on stationary or predictable ships while staying safe with a long 14-kilometer airstrike range. And the guns are no slouches either. Since they are 32mm HE pen and the rapid fire, you will make quick work of any unprepared enemies. However, though, enemies can take you out even faster due to your super fragile nature. Oftentimes, it's risky to use guns with all the threats running around you, leaving airstrikes as the only safe option. You want to try playing around 11 through 14 kilometers away from the enemy. Use islands and allied smokes to your advantage. Your guns and airstrikes should work together to control any movements and quickly burn them down. So pretty much, you can use your guns to set a fire on somebody. If they DCP, you can either do it the opposite way. You can use your airstrikes to land and set a fire on someone. They DCP. You can then hit them again. You could then shoot, get them to turn a certain way, use your airstrike to then hit them, and then you get a permafire, go dark, or you can just stay dark the whole time and just use your bombs the whole time. You don't even have to shoot. Or you can use your bombs on one person and then shoot the other, or either or. But your goal is to set fires and get that permafire damage rolling, and try and do as much damage you can with that tick damage of the guns, because then just so rapid fire, you'll do really well with that. Now, if you do need to survive in open water, make sure to use your engine boost to dodge or stay dark and rely on your airstrikes, though the latter means you aren't dealing as much damage. Now, in the match that what you guys were seeing earlier, I was doing a lot of open watering where I was either using my guns or I was purely just using the airstrikes. As you saw, their whole team was there, so I couldn't just open up fire. And when I did, I got hard focus. I did a lot of dodging, using the rudder to mainly dodge and some slight throttle juking, but mostly I was just trying to use that rudder due to how tight the turn was. Now, like other light cruisers, the Utrecht will prove pretty difficult to play, well, given her fragile nature and limited defense tools. However, if you can overcome this, her tendency to explode, you'll be rewarded with a DPM machine that will drown enemies in a hail of gunfire and blot out the sun with her Dutch Airstrike spam. Now, so that was my little overview of the ship. Do I recommend it? Hell yeah. This thing's a lot of fun. Strong anti-air, great bombs, good guns, great concealment, good maneuverability. The main downside is this ship is not going to be easy to play. It's going to be kind of difficult. The bombs are not easy to land. It's very difficult to hit them. If you know how to hit the bombs, you're going to do really well on this ship. I guarantee it. So, the ship is entering early access. A little bit of information. The ship is entering early access as of January 8th and 9th. 8th for NA and 9th for the EU and Asia server. It's going to be working like every other early access, where the tier 8 tech tree is going to be in the battle pass. It's going to cost around 2,500 doubloons to get it, so you can get the end of the battle pass. If you're lucky, you can also buy the tier 9 tech tree for 1,500 doubloons if you're lucky in the bundles thing, or like whatever bundle it is. And if you whale for the tier 10, there's gonna be like a bundle list where you have to pay for bundles, and at the very end is the tier 10, and you can buy that. Normally it's like an insane amount of doubloons, like 30,000 doubloons, I think, in total, or something like that. 30 or 40, I think it's like 30 or 40,000 doubloons. I don't know the average amount, but it'll be free to grind in about 3 months anyway. So I would just say save your money and just get it when it comes out. Now, there is a tier 8 premium that will be available in bundles only, which is, I'll be doing a video on that one, and I'll do a video on that whenever it's time. It'll be coming out on Wednesday of this week. It should be out around January 8th is when I'll be doing the video on that ship. So you guys can take a look at that one. But yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review today. Now I'm gonna turn it over to the build. If you guys have any questions or anything, make sure to leave a comment. All right, so let's take a look at the build of the Utrecht. So for the Utrecht, I have for the modules the main armament for the slot 1, so your guns get knocked out less. Very important for that. In slot 2, I take engine boost, so you get a longer time for the engine boost. Since the engine boost doesn't last too long, you kind of want to extend that to get that extra speed. In the third slot, I would then take aiming modules, so you have more accurate guns. In the fourth slot, I have airstrike modifications, so that my airstrike planes have more HP. Also makes it where the armament is 20% quicker, which makes it that your airstrikes have a 30.6 second reload, which is really, really, really quick for the airstrikes. Because that's going to be one of your main armaments, or your main weapons of choice is going to be the airstrikes. Concealment is going to be the fifth slot, and the sixth slot is going to be reload. So that's going to be my build for the modules. For the commander, if we were able to not use the test ship ones, I would recommend... Let me see real quick. I would recommend Klaus Johnson, which he has the enhanced... sorry, you don't even need a... I'm sorry, my apologies. You don't even need this commander. The enhancement doesn't do anything. I forgot. It only does something for the anti-air, not for the depth charges, so my bad. So ignore that. For the build, you're going to want to do last stand first. Then you're going to want to do focused fire training, so you get that quicker reload on your airstrikes. After that, I would do super intense, so you have extra heals. And after that one, I would then do concealment, so that would be your 10-point build. After that one, you would then want to do either survivability expert or adrenaline rush. If you want to do more of a DPM first, you can do heavy HE, which would give you 10% extra damage on your HE. You can do that one first, then do adrenaline rush or survivability expert, depending upon either or. And then finally, the final one would be priority target. So this one's here just to make sure you kind of know who's shooting at you, because since you are a light cruiser, you are going to be shot at a lot. And I do mean a lot. So it's really nice to be able to have priority target to be able to see when someone's shooting at you. But that is going to be my video. If you guys have any questions or concerns or any comments about the ship, like if you like the ship, if you don't, definitely leave them down in the comments down below. But this is OverlordBou, and I'll talk to y'all later.